because we've got some things to talk about here.
Okay.
Chris, I appreciate your coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
I know you're busy right now, as you made the official announcement this weekend that after 18 years, What Cheer Records in the corner of Angel and Thayer is going to close.
Right.
So, talk to us a little bit about that. I wanted to bring you in. There's just so much going on in Thayer Street right now, and I've seen you opine on Facebook about it. When did you know that this was going to be the time, and why?
Well, our lease is up at the end of this month, and our building was bought about 1.5 years ago, and from that point on, things became very uncertain. So we spent the past 1.5 years trying to get them to meet with us, the new owners, and discuss the lease and our future there, and they haven't bothered. So
didn't even take meetings with you?
No.
So did you just assume that they've got other plans that didn't include you?
Possibly, either that or they're just, really unprofessional and kind of rude. But I don't know. We've moved there 5 years ago after losing a lease in the past, and we had every intention of staying there as long as we could. But ever since the building was bought, just the street has taken a turn that doesn't seem to include us or businesses like us.
Yeah, well, when did you start to see maybe the tipping point on Thayer Street? There's a lot of changeover right now, and a lot of talk about parking meters, just the state of business on Thayer. Is it just pricing people out and becoming more corporate?
I think it's that way more than the parking meters, but the parking meters definitely haven't helped. But yeah, it's just all the properties are in just a few people's hands, and they're pretty much playing Monopoly with them. They're searching for the highest rents they can get, and that doesn't include the kind of businesses that have been there for decades, like ours.
And have really made Thayer Street what it is.
Yeah.
What have you heard from folks? I mean, it's just such a popular establishment. You're such a fixture on the music scene. What was the reaction of folks when you told them that you were closing?
I mean, people are pretty bummed, but our response is, we're not going out of business.
Nope.
We're going to stick with this. We've accumulated a lot of great stuff over the years, and we already do a considerable amount of our business online. But, there's just something that's going to be missing for our customers and for us. We view what we do as more than just shop owners and, making sales. We've always been interested in Rhode Island history and, not just records and vintage, but antiques and books and a lot of things that are local. And we're often like one of the first places people come to, like if they're visiting Brown to see if they want to go to school there or something. And they come in and they might not have been to a store like ours where they're from in, another country or in the Midwest or something. So, we tell people where to go in Providence, and we give them tips on, like which bands are cool, which clubs are cool, which restaurants, where to go if you're a vegan or whatever. So, that'll be missing, but we'll be living with a lot less stress and without kind of a ridiculous overhead.
So you talk about, again, not closing, going a lot more online, and then kind of what yard sale type events, partnering with other sort of events taking place in the city. What do you do? What do you bring for inventory to those types of events if it's, if you're taking your sort of show on the road, so to speak?
For maybe 15 years, we've done events we call rock and roll yard sales, and we just did one along with
the tacos.
Yep, Taco Fest on Westminster, and we do a few of those a year. We might do more. I don't know, like dealing in records isn't the best for like my health because I have a bad back, but. So we're trying to rethink what we do, but that is our way of staying involved in the community. The internet is just a computer screen, and you get very little reaction or, unless someone's unhappy.
That is true. You see a lot more unhappiness on social media. Trust me, we see it all the time here.
Yeah.
But what would you say to the city or, Brown or sort of, the east side? There's obviously less expensive areas in other parts of the city as well. But, it's close to a lot of students and young people, and Thayer Street's always been that way. I mean, what would you say to sort of the leaders about, what's happening with this sort of, again, the corporatization of this and what it means to sort of maybe the city's soul?
I mean, I feel like these few players have kind of sucked the heart and soul out of Thayer, which, is really sad to me and to my wife and to our customers. Like it's a street that was my introduction to Providence in the early 90s. My first job was on Thayer when I moved to here.
What was your first job?
At Kinko's. I was living in New York. I decided to move here, and they transferred me. So my first job was, working on Thayer, meeting other musicians.
Was that there next to the Starbucks, which used to be the Gap? Was that where Kinko's was?
No, it was. I think it's a Brown copy center now.
Oh, it is a Brown. Yes, it's always fun to play the "What Was There" game on there because there's just been so much turnover.
But I wonder if these people even consider what they've done. They've whitewashed it. I don't think the chains even are successful on Thayer. I mean, from what I can tell, the Gap that was there was rumored to be the worst performing Gap in the country. So, it's not, I don't think people want these chains on the east side of Providence. I mean, if they want that, they can go to the mall, or they can go to, Seekonk or Warwick. But Thayer, when I moved here, it was lined with record shops.
Oh, yeah.
And vintage shops.
Multiple.
There were places to get your bike fixed. There were actual things, and not, just not what you see everywhere else in this country. And, they just wiped it away pretty much.
Do you think the city's misguided in their parking meter approach? I know you said it's not the and beyond end all for Thayer, but we have seen some impact that we've heard from businesses.
I mean, and that goes hand in hand with the chains that are on Thayer. Like, that's partly why they can't be successful. Is if somebody wants like Chipotle, they're not going to pay to park to get it. They're going to go somewhere, the many other locations where they can just go and park in a vast sea of asphalt, So, I don't know. I think the city has a responsibility, and so do these owners. I mean, and Brown, like, they play like they're doing some good for Providence, but they're not. But I don't know how the city could get involved. I mean, I do know that the quote, like, leaders of Thayer, they've been noticing, like, the success of downtown, and especially of Westminster, and they've cited it as an example of what they want Thayer to be like. But if you go down Westminster, there aren't any chains. It's local, it's diverse. Thayer is all restaurants and chains, so it's the opposite. They've forced the street into being a strip, like a food court, where it could otherwise be something cool, which it was for decades. So,
ask him where people can get the T-shirt he's wearing. A guy on Facebook wants to know.
This shirt was put together by Nice Slice, who was pretty much squeezed out by our same landlord. They're reopening on Westminster, on the west side, and they may have them, but I don't know. It's a cool shirt. It lists some of the,
You say lists?
Yes.
Oh, turn around. Oh my goodness. I mean, gosh, this is like the money shot right here.
Yeah. So this is like what Thayer.
The farewell tour. Tony, can we see these well? Am I going to have to take a picture of this and put this with the piece?
Oh, that's pretty good.
Ooh, Boston Beat, Moby's Music, only in Rhode Island, Watershed. Oh, remember all the skateboard shops?
Yep.
Oh, Tom's Tracks in Your Ear, Goldie's, all the record stores, Hole in the Wall.